everyone. I'm your host, comedian, magician, Danny Whitson. But it's all tricks aside, because tonight we're turning the paranormal into the normal. Join me as we explore the gray areas of reality. We're going to talk all things paranormal, UFOs, ghosts, cryptids, and aliens, and see how it's all connected. This podcast is brought to you by the Experiencer Support Association, and we are live. So if you're an experiencer yourself, or you're just plain nosy, be sure to send me your question and subscribe to the podcast. Now, get ready, because it's going to get deep. No, really, we're going to go way out there, because this is Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. What's happening, my paranormal junkies? Welcome to Beyond the Tinfoil Hat, and I'm your host, Danny Whitson. Guys, we are broadcasting live from the United Public Radio Network, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, on 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 New Orleans. Guys, we got a special show today, okay? It's a special show. The guest we originally had planned had an emergency come up, so couldn't make it. Those things happen. We totally get it. But when those things happen, we have a fantastic backup. Yes, this guy who we got on the show today, okay? This guy is banned in 17 countries, okay? This is how hard it was to get this guy here tonight, okay? He's banned in 17 countries. Also, some people don't even know if he exists. They try to get his picture. It's always blurry. Him and Bigfoot, kind of like the same thing. But let's see. He's too nice to be mean. He's Mr. Behind the Scenes. Let's welcome today's guest, Mr. Chris Green.
Hey, Danny, how's it going?
Man, Chris. Yes.
That was good. That was good.
There we go. I don't know why it took me to now to come up with Behind the Scenes Chris Green. I don't know why, but hey, I think
it worked.
There we go. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to talk about some cool stuff, okay, today. And also, you know what, man? I love it when you guys reach out to me with ideas for the show, especially whenever something unexpected happens, you know, like we have a guest that can't make it. So I do want to give a big shout out to Miss Liv Light. She, like I said, I can't take credit for this fantastic idea, but I can't think of a better topic. I don't know if you guys are aware, but it's a full moon tonight. Also, not only a full moon, I think it's a partial eclipse about to happen. Lunar eclipse, correct?
Ooh, I think so.
So, anyways, with that being said, and like I said, with the fantastic suggestion by Liv, we're going to talk about some werewolves. Yes. Now, it's always one of those weird things is because whenever you bring up stuff like werewolves, you automatically write it off like those cannot be real, you know?
They're real.
But, well, you know what? Just with like a little bit of touch here and there, you know, I looked into some stuff and I was like, wow, you know, there's even like a biblical reference to a guy maybe being a werewolf, you know, but not just that, but you look at things like the Dogman, Michigan Dogman. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Ohio, the Dogman of Ohio, the Dogman of Michigan, and then a very famous story, the Beast of Bray Road. I looked into. So I found those things and I thought that's very interesting. Now, you know, there's some people who say, well, there's the Dogman's its own thing. It's not a werewolf. Well, I don't know. It might be. How do you know? You know, so some very interesting stories out there floating around about the Dogman, werewolves, the Beast of Bray Road. All those things are very interesting. Yes. Let's howl. Yes. So get your you just go out and howl at the moon. You ready, Chris? Huh?
I'd love to.
Do they do that in Canada? Because they do it in Tennessee all the time.
They do.
But it doesn't have to be a full moon in Tennessee. They just too much moonshine, baby, and they, you know, howling at the moon. But before we get to werewolves, I want to talk to you because you brought up an interesting topic too.
Yeah.
You talked about reincarnation, correct?
Yes. So do you guys believe in it? because I do. Yeah.
I totally believe in it, man. I think it's very, very possible. Very, very possible. It kind of touches like on the Buddhism and a lot of Hinduism beliefs, and it makes a lot of sense. A lot of it does. And there's been some interesting stories about children, talking about past lives and stuff, what was just crazy accurate. It's hard to explain. So it's definitely something I've thought about that could be very well possible. But I tell you what, Chris has got a little interesting story here. It's kind of cute if you want to know the truth. Man.
Yeah, I think it is too.
It's not a werewolf. It's not a
No.
werewolf, but what is it now?
Bunnies.
Bunnies. Okay,
Yeah.
so tell your story about your bunnies real quick. Okay.
So I do another job instead of this, and I walk around at night, stuff like that. And
you got to clarify. You walk around at night. That's your job. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a werewolf, is what he's trying to tell you guys.
Yeah, no. I make sure everything's secure.
Security.
Well, yes. In different areas, we have a couple of places that we go, and every place that I do security at, I see this bunny. I don't know if it's the same one or different. I don't know. And I have this one tag that I go to every time, and it takes me to that tag.
Really? So, okay, how do we know? It might be a werewolf bunny. That's right, Liv.
Yeah.
A were-bunny.
Yeah, were-bunny, yeah. But it takes me to my tag. If it's walking too fast, it stops, looks at me, waits for me to. And if I skip that tag, it runs around me to make sure I hit that tag.
So what do you mean? You hit that what? That tag?
So there's little tags that we scan.
Okay.
To show our location and saying that we've, seen if that door is locked and stuff like that.
Okay, so is this at the same place you work every night? You see the bunny, or are you?
No, it's different. It's different places.
A White Castle, and holy crap, there's the bunny.
No, it's different places. There's two sites that we have, 3 sites that we have, and even when we had one more site, we had a church. It would still follow me, like there would be one there. So I think it's ancestors, because I'm Native. Ancestors looking after me to make sure that I'm okay.
So you think there's like a possibility they died and came back as these bunnies, or it's a nature spirit kind of thing? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I have the same issue, except it's mosquitoes.
Of course.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting, man. Really, I do. I think that's cool. And how long have you seen the bunnies?
2 years now.
2 years. Holy cow.
Yeah. Since I started.
Well, let me do this because I always like to interact with the chat over here. Jillian, nice to see you. Awesome you're here. Liv always. And Heidi, welcome to the show. If you got any questions for us, be sure to send them up here. We will answer them the best you can. We can, the best Chris can. I'm gonna put it all on Chris. I
got big shoulders.
We're talking bunnies that harass Chris. All right. And by the way, this is beyond the tinfoil hat, so we get crazy pants in here. But we got bunnies that harass Chris, and maybe reincarnated bunnies for all we know. But it's still freaking. I wish bunnies followed me around. And then we're going to be talking werewolves tonight because we got a full moon happening. Yes, we've got a. Oh, here's the question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Put it up here. Just because you're on the show, star. He's a big star now. Here we go. Are rabbits your animal guardians?
No.
I think no.
No. I'm actually part of the bear clan, and I have 2 or 3 bears that watch me.
Okay, you guys have totally lost me. See, she knows what you're talking about. You know what she's talking about. What is the bear clan?
Okay, so I am Native. There's many different clans. bear, fox.
Okay.
So I went and talked to one of my elders that I know, and we figured out that I was bear clan. And I'm drawn to the woods. I'm drawn to that kind of stuff. So being bear clan, and I got a very short fuse, and when it goes off, it goes off.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've scared a couple people.
Well, I don't think I have any of that in my blood because I hate knowing cancer. Is that bad?
I love it. And the best thing that grounds me is walking around freshly cut grass in my regular feet, no socks, nothing.
That's actually a thing. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard. Has anybody ever heard of this? If you guys have, let me know. Isn't there like a thing like there's even like they believe it's like a medical thing. Like you should walk outside barefooted, connected to the earth. Like it's supposed to do something for you health wise. Grounding, yes, thank you, Heidi. I couldn't think of the word. I was like, what was
That's what I said? It grounds me.
Grounding. Yes. And you know what's weird about that? What's weird about that is it's kind of like a real thing because when you do walk outside barefoot, you're like, this feels good. There's something that feels good about this, which I believe that's, yeah. I hear it does. There's a lot of good health benefit.
It does.
Which is crazy, but
when I'm really stressed, I go and just walk and ground myself. I also smudge. That helps a lot too. I listen to drum music, flute music, and it's just there's no other way.
Well, okay, let's back to the bunnies real quick.
Yep.
I want to ask you. So you've been seeing this for about 2 years. You've noticed.
Oh yeah, at least 2 years.
See, I wonder if it's something that's been there longer, but it's not when you start noticing stuff. You see it all the time, but it could have been there even longer. You think?
I'm betting it is because I was always nature bound. I was always outside, like sun up, sundown, and I didn't really get connected with everything until I started working for Ryan. And
Ryan has a way of doing that to you.
Exactly, doesn't he? And working for Tessa and everything, and then I started seeing stuff. Like my third eye opened, and I was starting to see, and it's all connected.
What's funny is I have, and I call them normies now too. Like a terminology for people who aren't in entertainment. We say normies, and now I'm using the same terminology for people who aren't in the supernatural world. I call normies. So I literally have conversations today with a normie, and and I'm telling them about the podcast and the show, and I'm talking about all the interesting stories that I've heard, from past guests, and how there has to be more, things, and I'm talking to her just like, this is real, this is reality, because a portion of this absolutely 100% is, and you could tell how they were shocked, how engulfed in that other world where their windows have been closed off to, their doors have been shut off to. And I'm just like, no, man, really there's a lot more to, this reality than what which brings me, let's talk about the werewolves. Let's get into some werewolves. Okay. Now, let's see. The only kind of things that I have found. Now, this is what I found interesting because, like I said, I looked up the Beast of Bray Road, which supposedly took place in Ohio, which did take place, actually. It's actually documented. Took place in Ohio. The first creature first reported in 1936, but many people reporting seeing it in the 1980s and 90s too, later on. But, this is one thing I found interesting right off the bat is the Beast of Bray Road was, like I said, in Ohio. And then you've got the Dogman, the Legend of the Dogman, which is in Michigan. A lot of that is all in the same area, which I find kind of interesting, but both of them two separate things, but I found it kind of interesting, kind of in the, same area of the country, not too far from you, correct? You're not too far from that portion either, Chris, right? Well, I mean,
across the border, but yeah.
Across the border, yeah, across the lake, but
Yeah, I'm not that far, no.
But there was media coverage on it. There's actually a book if you guys are interested in checking out the Beast of Bray Road. If you haven't, Godfrey's series articles, the Beast of Bray Road, the telling of Wisconsin's werewolf. I apologize. The Beast of Bray Road was Wisconsin, not Ohio. Sorry, but still close in the same vicinity, the same area there.
Yeah, that's not that far away.
And there's even a film. There's a movie about the Beast of Bray Road, a horror film. So directed by Lee Scott. I may have to check that out, dude, because I'm a horror film.
Exactly.
I like the scary movies.
Yeah, the girlfriend does too. So,
but I don't know, man. They say skeptics. So let's throw up the skeptics. The skeptics say that the Beast of Bray Road was actually just a gray wolf. I don't know, man.
We have a question.
Oh, we got a question. Let's get it up here. Bang. By our very own Live Life, ladies and gentlemen. Any connections between Dogman and werewolf? You know what? I think so. From what I was looking in on, a lot of people, it seems like people don't want to mix their green beans and their corn. But I think it's just rational to think so, that there's that strong possibility, because according to, what I found on the Dogman, where you at, Dogman? We're not talking about Snoop Dogg. We're talking about an actual canine that walks like a man, but looks like a dog. The first sighting was in 1887. Two lumberjacks in Wexford County reported seeing a large creature with a man's body and a dog head. Now, first of all, imagine two big old lumberjacks. These ain't no little, these dudes ain't frightening. We're talking about big old guys that chop down trees. And then they see something with a dog's head and a human body. Sounds awfully like a werewolf to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least, what we're used to seeing. The Dogman is said to, now this is interesting. Okay. The Dogman is said to be a 7-foot-tall, blue-eyed or amber-eyed bipedal canine-like creature with a human torso. 7 feet tall.
That's tall.
Wow. That's really tall.
That's like almost two of me.
Yeah. I mean, what'd you say? That's like what?
That's almost
yeah.
Yeah, I'm 4'5", so that's almost two of me.
Almost two of Chris.
Yeah, no thanks.
It's Chris in a trench coat. Two Chris's in a trench coat.
There you go.
Here we go. Sightings have been reported in many locations throughout Michigan, but most are from the northwestern quadrant of the Lower Peninsula. So throughout Michigan, the Dogman, and then you've got the Beast of Bray Road in Wisconsin. Well, so, I mean, when you look at things, that is terrifying. Can you imagine?
Yes, Heidi, that is, yeah.
That is. What terrain for these dog werewolf? Hilly forest areas, mountains, if so, close to Bigfoot. I think this is something separate from Bigfoot, Liv, because the Lower Peninsula of Michigan, I know Michigan has a very wilderness area. I do know that. It's I'm not sure if it's the Lower Peninsula area or not that is where that is, but it's I do think it's something separate from Bigfoot. And these whole things with other types of if I don't jack this up, cryptids. Do I always jack that up? Did I say it right, Chris?
No, you said it right. Cryptids.
Okay. It took me a while to get on board with Bigfoot. Which is crazy because I think it's so much more easier to believe in UFOs, UAPs, aliens, and ghosts But and a lot of people would say, well, no, I mean, it makes more sense that Bigfoot is real. But this is my problem, is like I just, to find good evidence was so difficult for me, you know? And not until this past year, actually, that I've started seeing evidence of Bigfoot and, you know, Sasquatch and stuff, that these cryptid things are just as real as the UFOs and ghosts, possibly. Like I saw, I know you guys get on TikTok and you see some crazy stuff on TikTok, and you know my algorithm now pops up with these creepy stories and stuff. And one thing, when I hear people tell their stories, I read people for a living. I read rooms for a living. You know, I stand on stage and I read rooms basically for a living. People, and I'm pretty good whenever people are, you know, telling me a load of bull, you know. And when I hear somebody tell a story about an eyewitness account about something that they saw crawl out of the woods onto the trail, and it looked like a giant spider or crab-like creature, and crawl away, as unbelievable as that story sounds, but listening to the man tell the story, I'm like, man, this guy did see something, you know. And you know, it's almost like there's a whole new world of paranormal world of things that exist. And I don't know if it crawls out from another dimension, where it comes from, but these things are real, you know. So when we look at something like a werewolf, we tend to want to write that off as make believe, because it has been Hollywood and Glamourwood so much that we're like, well, those things can't be real, but they had to come from somewhere. You know, Hollywood had to get its idea from somewhere. And then you could trace things back to legend of a man turned into a beast. I mean, you can go way back with it. So, I mean, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I haven't seen any, you know, sightings, or I ever met anybody who has seen them, but there are people like this Dogman situation. You know, but no, I think Dogman and Sasquatch are separate. I think it's two different things. You know, but who knows? We've got let's see. Absolutely. If I'm over here reading the comments, there we go. There's a YouTube. Jillian said there's a YouTube channel, Sasquatch Ontario. The guy Mike Patterson has some really interesting interactions. I think I may have seen that channel too, and that's what I'm saying. It seems like for some reason, the cryptid evidence, you got to really look for it. You got to kind of dig for it, because there's so much garbage out there. There's, you know, it's so much like, oh, well, that's clearly a dude in a suit trying to get clicks and views. But whenever you do just a little digging, you can really find some good stuff out there that'll make you think. Like, wow, very interesting.
Like that one guy that was on the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That one was
and if it wasn't so crappy at names, it was a few episodes back. He's got the TV show about Sasquatch, Searching for Sasquatch, I think is the name of it.
Yes, it was. Give me 1 second. I can actually try to figure it out.
See, that's awesome. Jillian back. We may have to get Mike on the show then, because Jillian is saying how she interviewed Mike and her BS meter didn't go off at all with him. And that's one thing I think, as all of us over here in the comment section, we've heard enough stuff that, you know, we can tell when someone is BSing us about this stuff and when they're actually being sincere. You have a real experience. So yeah, we might need to look about getting him on the show, because I love talking about Bigfoot or any other, you know, it definitely, because we don't get as many as those guests that, you know.
It was
absolutely, that would be awesome. Thank you, Julian.
Jason Kinsey.
We had Jason Kinsey, and that's somebody you can tell he's very passionate about what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
And you know, had some interesting audio we played on the show too. So, you know,
Bigfoot roars. Yeah, that was intense.
You know, now I did, I think this was actually probably about a year ago, and I can't remember his name. Gosh, I wish I did. My wife could tell you his name. But he's on the television show Expedition Bigfoot. And I had a conversation with him about Bigfoot, and he showed me, I don't know if you guys have seen this footage. I think it's out there that you can YouTube see it. But it almost looked like okay, are you guys familiar with the movie Predator?
Yes.
The original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Every guy who was a child in the 80s knows who that movie is. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, it was just, but anyways, the way the Predator would look in the jungle, he would have that, that camo blurry where he blurred in with the, well, this guy actually showed a video of what looked like a Sasquatch that was doing that type of camo.
Really?
Yeah. And it was moving around, and it was one of the most uncanny, weird things I've ever seen, dude. And I was like, what is going on, dude? So I think that was the guy's name. Yes. It was interesting. I was just like, whoa. So there is some very interesting stuff out there on Sasquatch, Bigfoot. But I wish we had more on the Dogman and werewolf. I wish we had more video evidence and stuff like that. And then again, how do you know how many times that maybe we did have that, but it got mixed up with, Bigfoot? Just assume it was a Bigfoot. You know what? That's something else that I like to believe in too, because I think when you first of all, when you look at Bigfoot's camouflage, like I don't know how many guys are familiar, but deers, you see a deer crossing the road and 4 or 5 deer, and you're like, oh, the pretty deer. But those deer could be in a field right on the side of the road, and you would never know they were there.
Yeah, of course.
They are masters at camouflage. So when you look at something like a Bigfoot or something, the same thing that lives in the woods, who knows? It could be a master type camouflage. It could be like interdimensional type camouflage. Something that, is not from this, not from our dimension, maybe that's why they're only seen sometimes when they want to be seen, maybe that's the point. I don't know. But I've thought of that too, Liv. I've thought, what if there was some type of, interdimension type camo going on here, something that we can't see. And also when you look in nature at how well some of these things like stick bugs, bugs that look like sticks, and in the way evolution has evolved for things to be able to, get past us, we can't see it. It's pretty amazing, really, when you look at what nature has done in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, exactly. Maybe the frequencies, when things match, people are able to see these things. But yeah, I think there's definitely something to it. I don't know what it is. Some people have even linked, and some people don't like to do this. I get it. But I tend to believe that everything is all connected somehow. It's all connected.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't have the answer, but absolutely. I totally believe he's interdimensional. I think there's something all connected there with it. And I don't know. Will we ever get the full answers? I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not. But it's definitely really cool. Everything is all connected. It is. Well, I tell you what, we're running up on time here that we're going to have to cut to that break. Yes, so if you guys want to get something to drink, you got to go to the bathroom, whatever. Now's the time to do it, because we're going to be going to a break and give a shout out to our sponsors.
Got 4.5 minutes.
Now we've got 10 seconds.
Well, there you go.
Now we've got 5 seconds. Guys, don't leave. Come back with some questions. Think of something. Hit me up. I'll be right back.
Have you ever wondered, or maybe just thought to yourself, if there were others just like you? You know, people with extraordinary abilities, psychogenic advancement, and perhaps unique intuitions. Maybe you just wondered if there were other people who experienced unimaginable, unexplained, or even unusual and paranormal events. Are there people who have more questions, more fears than answers? Well, you're not alone. You've never been alone. We believe you. Sign up for EA today.
Business. It's your property. Your assets are worth protecting. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services specializes in patrolling and inspecting residential or commercial property against fire, theft, vandalism, terrorism, and illegal activity. People and buildings are monitored to prevent crime. Keep your property, your people, and your assets safe from threat. Our elite staff are dual licensed private investigators and security guards. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services. Go to blacklightiss.com.
Ow! All right, we're back. There we go. You caught me howling. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
I just do that, though. It doesn't have to be a full moon. Guys, it's a full moon. It's going to be a super moon, right? I think it's going to be a super moon. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's just a really big moon, super moon tonight.
Yeah.
You know, Chris, you didn't do your moon homework like I told you to do?
No.
Gosh, man. Here we go. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a super moon tonight. So, maybe that's some really big werewolves that'll be out creeping and crawling. I did find something interesting. During the break, while you guys were like getting your drinks, getting your questions ready, getting your peas in, I came out with some cool. I found out something really cool. Roanoke, Roanoke, West Virginia. There's actually a report of a werewolf sighting back in 2007. Okay. Wow. I thought this was interesting. Let's see. Sightings of a strange wolf-like creature have persisted in the Roanoke area for generations, with one of the most compelling accounts occurring as recently as 2007. A couple, David and Lisa, were camping near Roanoke when they encountered a creature they believed to be the Roanoke werewolf. David, armed with a .357 Magnum, claims to have shot the 7-foot-tall beast at close range. There's that 7 feet tall thing again, man. Only for the bullets to barely phase it. The arrival of a second creature convinced the couple they were outnumbered. Well, I think it would just take one 7-foot werewolf to convince me. But hey, two, hey, we're getting out of here. Yeah. They fled to their vehicle and sped away later, corroborating their story with a local hunter who claimed to have seen a similar bipedal creature in the area. So that area right there, Roanoke's a very mountainy, foresty area as well, but 7 feet tall, and which is once again interesting because, Bigfoot is, known to be, 7 up to 10 feet tall at times, So I don't know. That's interesting though that they went with the 7 feet tall thing. Another report, kind of similar. Maybe werewolves are only basketball players are turning into werewolves. Maybe you got to be like a really tall dude. Us shorties, Chris, we just no chance. We turn into bunnies.
Definitely no chance. Yeah, we turn into bunnies. Yeah.
But yes, it's a harvest moon, blood moon, and a partial lunar eclipse plus northern lights. Holy cow.
Well, that's in Canada, right?
Okay. Well, I mean,
we get the northern lights.
I don't know if we could see it. We did get lucky in Tennessee. Like a few months, there was like something going on, and we could actually see some of the northern lights. I made a big deal about it.
Really?
So, yeah, I didn't go look, but a lot of people did.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the reports. With the reports like on the werewolf situation, is I kind of lean like towards the dogman thing. Like the canine face and the stand upright body is kind of where I lean on that. But, either or, I think it's definitely terrifying. Definitely would be something terrifying to walk up on. A lot of, let's see, the Great Dismal Swamp straddling the border between Virginia and North Carolina. That's just getting close to my neck of the woods. Has also been a hotbed of alleged Roanoke werewolf activity. Some of the researchers believe that the swamp may hold clues to the fate of the lost colony, theorizing that the settlers may have taken refuge in the area. And because, there's the lost colony is of Roanoke. Are you guys familiar with that story?
I'm not.
I wonder if I don't want to misquote this because I don't want the hate mail. You got it wrong. The origins of the Roanoke werewolf legend can be traced back to 1587 when the 115 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island with the intention of establishing a permanent colony. Just 3 years later, the entire colony had vanished, leaving behind only the cryptic word, I'm going to jack this up, Croton. Is it Croton? I want to say crouton, like on a salad, but Croatoan. Croton. Anyway, carved into a tree. Oh, so something was carved into a tree after everybody disappeared. What's happening, Lisa?
Hey, Lisa.
Colonies, yes, Liv. Yes, early American colonies. Theories abound as to what became of the lost colony, but some believe a sinister force, perhaps even werewolves, may have been involved in their disappearance. While there's no such historical evidence to support such claims, the idea of a supernatural culprit has only added to, well, you know what, dude? That is a mystery. I am familiar a little bit about the lost colony of Roanoke. Like, people arrived, and then all of a sudden, like overnight, everyone vanished.
Really?
And it was like something super sudden. Overnight, everyone disappeared. With that one word carved in the tree, Croton, carved in the tree. It was the only bit of evidence left over, so no one knows what happened to him. And now they're linking it could be possibly a werewolf. And, I know the werewolf legend did come over, I think did originate in Europe, I believe. So it was a bit of a superstition. Like we all know, superstitions all start from, reality.
Yeah.
So interesting. Very interesting story. I've heard about the lost colony, but I didn't know it was linked to werewolves. Something new I've learned.
So during the break, girlfriend reminded me of a story that I have.
Oh, we got another story.
I got another story. So you all know that I'm indigenous and very
Yes.
in tuned with spirits. So I was at the girlfriend's and I was having a bad day, and all of a sudden I blanked out. I was there, but I wasn't there. And the girlfriend saw the blank stare. I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. And it looked like I was getting pissed off. But I wasn't. And I just couldn't speak. And she's like, Chris, honey, Chris, Chris, Chris. And I was looking through her. And so she went and grabbed the dragon blood sage and she smudged me. And I snapped out of it. So her and her mom are, into that smudging stuff. And they smudged the whole house. Well, I felt the spirits leave. We call them the boys in the basement. They like to screw around with people. And they screw around with me a lot because they know I can feel them. And yeah, it was blank stare. Couldn't move. I was sitting in a chair like I'm sitting now at the dinner table, watching TV. I don't know what was on, probably Dukes of Hazzard. And I just couldn't talk, couldn't move. And she walked in front of me, gave me a hug, and asked me if I was okay. And I couldn't, there was no words, my mind was blank. And we don't know what happened, but it was scary. That's the first time I've ever.
So do you think you were having some type of possession, or do you think?
I don't know. I think they just wanted to screw with my head, and it worked. I don't know if they were taking me to the dark side. I don't know. And it's only happened once, thank God. And I wasn't wearing my medicine pouch like I usually do. I left that at home.
Your medicine pouch?
Yeah, I have a medicine pouch that has different colored stones in, different gems in it. It also has an arrowhead. It has some different medicines for sage and tobacco and sweetgrass, stuff like that. And it's for protection for us. And I forgot it at home, hanging on my bedpost because I was sleeping. Woke up, forgot it. And she had to smudge me, and it's like you snapped your fingers and I was back.
Huh. And it hasn't happened since.
Hasn't happened since.
Now, well, you mentioned the boys in the basement.
Well, that's what we called them, the boys in the basement, because there is two spirits down there.
Gotcha.
They're gone now, thank God. But
well, I mean, you just hadn't heard anything. No noises or anything since then, or
since then they're gone. I don't sense them in the house anymore. But yeah, it was strong.
Now, did you guys do an investigation in your house to determine anything they were down there, or that's one thing I will not do. We've got some really cool stuff. I'm like, man, I would like to just sit down and play with this and see what's in my house. But I don't know if I'd be down to do that because, I would be afraid what I might find out. You know what I mean?
All right. So Liv has a question for me. Thanks, Liv. Not common in my family, but in my girlfriend's family, there's a couple. Her mom is a medium / witch / I don't exactly know. If the girlfriend's in here, she'll tell you. And the girlfriend is the same. So thank God they were there to help me because I was helpless. I didn't know what to do. When I snapped out of it, I was drained. I asked the girlfriend for
Usually that's usually how you feel afterwards if something is trying to, which that's a real thing too. That's a real thing too.
Yeah, I asked the girlfriend, drained. So I asked the girlfriend for chocolate, or I don't know what I asked her for. I don't remember. But chocolate or I think it was orange juice, something. Because
it's clearly Danny. He's wanting chocolate.
Yeah, well, because it was like my sugars were low. I was weak, and it was just like, ugh.
Interesting story, man. Definitely interesting. I haven't had, that experience, but I've seen people have that experience, messing around with like a Ouija board and stuff like that. I've seen some stuff.
It does run in our family.
There we go. So we got a family full of mediums.
Yeah.
There we go. And Thanksgiving dinner's got to be weird at your house.
It is.
It's going to be weird. Everybody knows what you're thinking before you think it. There we go.
Oh, the girlfriend hates that because I can do that. I can do that. And
thank you for the gravy. I didn't even have to ask. You're amazing.
But like she'll start a sentence, and I will finish the sentence as she's trying to do it, and it drives her nuts. Or I can tell her that a headache's coming on.
See, here's the thing. I think my wife is a medium too, but not for like what I'm thinking. But it's like, I swear if I ever pass gas, she knows it like 5 minutes in advance. I'm like, how could you possibly be smelling that already? It hasn't even happened yet. She's she's a fart psychic, ladies and gentlemen. But it is what it is. We all have our things. But yeah, I think I had an aunt also that was a medium that she didn't know it, but she could do stuff like that. So I don't think anything happened to me. If I read your mind, it's a magic trick and I'm faking it. But I do think I had an aunt that could do the same thing. So I think that's cool. Christy, awesome. Thank you for making Chris share that story.
Yes.
Well, let's do this. Let's get back on talking about the hairy people.
Yes.
So, what is your take, man? What do you think? What do you think about the lost colony thing? That's interesting.
I think it's really interesting. I would love to actually, watch the movie or read the book. Girlfriend's gonna say, Chris, you're actually gonna read. But
well, they got this thing called audiobooks now,
yes,
which I became a big fan of.
Yes, they do.
I got on the treadmill actually this morning, and I'm finishing up Lou Elizondo's Imminent book on Spotify. Which is, guys, I highly recommend listening to that in the UAP. Lou Elizondo is one of the latest whistleblowers. His book Imminent came out. If you do subscribe to Spotify, you can definitely get it for free on Spotify. So hello. But other than that, check it out. But I want to check out the Beast of Bray Road. I think I want to check that book out.
Yeah. So Lisa said this.
Lisa said this. Let me do it. This is what Lisa said. I'll be going to the UFO conference on Thursday to Saturday with friend. I'm a vendor, and I will have some of my books with me. Awesome. That is so cool.
Right on.
Where is this? Where's the conference at? Where's this at? Here we go. Well, I'll tell you what, Lisa, if you know where the conference is, I would love to know where that's at. I went to, we had one probably years ago, probably like 5 years ago, and it was a UFO expo in Knoxville, Tennessee, which was awesome because, literally everyone was there, and we went to it, and this was really before I wasn't even into this world, but just the interest to go. And now looking back, I think there was a bigger reason why I went, because like I said, I really wasn't even into this world, and we went to this thing, and I got to see Travis Walton, the famous Fire in the Sky movie. Travis Walton, saw him give a lecture, tell his story live, which was interesting, and met some other interesting people too. One astronaut guy who really hated NASA, but claimed that, a lot of things are going on the moon that we don't know about. Lisa, in Michigan at Houghton Lake. Okay, cool. So Lisa, are you, now you're not from Michigan though, Lisa, correct? You're just going there for the conference. I was about to say, because maybe, are you familiar with the Dogman? The Dogman sightings in Michigan, but if not, that's definitely cool. Sounds like I would love to go to another UFO type conference. I would love to go to one of those.
They should have one in Canada.
I would love. Well, that UFO Expo was awesome. It was so cool. And hearing some of the stories firsthand. Except, I really made the astronaut dude. I think I ticked him off.
No.
Yeah, I was wearing a NASA shirt, and I went up and talked to him, and he was telling me, about the moon and stuff, about how they've got, they're working with aliens and stuff on the moon, and there's like ships and bases and stuff on the side. And then as I walked away, he goes, "Hey!" He yells across the entire room, "Hey, you know what NASA stands for, don't you?" And I'm like, "What's that?" "Never a straight answer." And I'm like, "Oh, well, all right, hey." So maybe he's got a point. And now that I've actually gotten in this world, I think he does have a good point.
Yes, he does.
Super cool, super cool. But yeah, I think it's been interesting. And maybe if I can stay up late enough, I may go out and look at the supermoon tonight. You going to check out the supermoon?
Oh, of course.
I hope all you guys in the chat session tonight will take the time to go outside and look at the blood moon, and check out the moon, man. Maybe do some howling, I don't care if you howl. Your neighbors may be mad, but, well, you do you. But I think it'd still be super interesting. And but I don't know, man. After looking up some of these reports like Dogman and the Beast of Bray Road, werewolves might be among us.
I think they're.
I mean, why not? Some of my favorite movies with werewolves. Probably one of the scariest ones of all time.
We do have one in Canada. Shag Harbor Expo.
Shag Harbor Expo.
Where is that, Jillian?
Shag
I
Harbor.
I want to go.
Shag Harbor.
I don't know where that is. And I'm from Canada.
Shag, isn't that like a slang term that you guys use for something else? Or is that the Scottish?
No, I think that, no.
Austin Powers callback, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Shag Harbor. Used to UFO Expo. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Gosh, man, I wish we had I wish another one would come back to Knoxville, dude. I would so go there. Gosh, that was so awesome. That was such an awesome time. But we haven't had one back since then. I don't know. I've even played around with this, guys. I've thought about putting on my own festival for something like this. I really thought about doing it.
It's in Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. How far is that from you?
I'd fly, so about 3 hours.
Ah, okay. Well, if you do get to go to something cool like that, and any of you guys, go to one of those, please let us know. How was it? Anything we need to plug before we get out of here, sir?
Not for me, but for you, yes.
For me,
I will get going, and I will let you close the show.
All right. Well, I got to think. What was it next week's guest again? I'm sorry. What was his name?
Dean Graves.
Dean Graves.
Yes.
And okay. Well, all right. That'll work. And we got Dean Graves next week. And it's just going to be me and Dean. So, hey, guys, bear with me next week, okay?
Yes.
Send me the positive energy next week because Chris will not be behind the scenes next week. It'll be just me. So I get to play the intro and push all the funny buttons.
You'll be fine.
Let's hope I don't mess it up. But hey, I want to give a shout out, Jillian, Christy, Liv, Lisa.
It's about a 24-hour drive.
There we go. Well, hey, thank you guys so much. And I did not mean to forget your name. What was your name? Hold on before we cut out of here. I want to give her a shout out too because I think she was here we go. Where are you at? Heidi. Thank you so much, Heidi. Thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. You guys make this so much fun. If you can, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your cousin, tell your dogs to like and subscribe to the podcast. We're building a cool little community here. We got some great episodes. We try to keep it interesting. And a big shout out to Live Light for throwing out the werewolf topic. Perfect time with the full moon. Thank you so much. Guys, if you want to, you can give me a follow on that Super Magic Boy on Instagram. And at Danny Whitson Magic and Comedy on Facebook. If you guys ever need to reach out, got an idea, feel free to reach out to me. I get back with you as soon as possible. If you guys have not done so, if you'd like to, throw some love our way, you can go to Patreon at Heed the World, and like a $4 little donation gets you access to articles at the experiencersupport.org, investigations, things breaking down some real actual stories out there you can check out on the website at experiencersupport.org. Also, if you guys have an experience you'd like to share, you can reach out to Ryan Stacy, and he'll kind of break it down for you, help you out. He'll look into it. He is a professional investigator. Or if you ever want to come on the show, hit me up. I would love to have you guys come on and share your stories. I would love to have you on. But I believe that covers pretty much everything. Also, I got to say this. We are broadcasting live from the E-United Public Radio Network, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 FM in the Gulf Coast, and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. Okay. Sometimes that's a mouthful, so I had to get that one out. But like always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back next Tuesday. I would love to see you guys come back. And we got Dean Graves on next week, and it's going to be a fun show, I promise. I'll see you guys next week. All right, that does it for this episode of Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. A big shout out for tonight's awesome guest, and a bigger shout out for everyone who tuned in. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube or wherever it is you listen to your podcasts. And like always, be sure to stay curious, heed the world, and keep the paranormal normal. I'm your host, Danny Whitson, and this has been Beyond the Tinfoil Hat.